Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite Ravens YouTube channel and podcast, Talking Ravens all day, every day with your host, Justin P. This is episode 8 for the YouTube channel. Make sure y'all like it and subscribe. And for the audio version, this is season 1, episode 13. Y'all can check that out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Podchaser, uh, Spotify, basically anywhere you get your music and podcast stuff from. Just type in Talking Ravens all day, every day, and they'll list all the available platforms. Today, I got a special guest on here, man. One of the legends of the Ravens YouTube world. He not going to admit to it because he's very modest, but everybody know who this guy is. Let's welcome to the show, Justin Ingram, aka Ingraven Vids. Team, keep it clean. Welcome to the show, bro.
Hey, what's going on? I appreciate you having me on, man. Thank you.
Man, appreciate you taking time out your busy day to chop it up with us, man. So, everybody, his links are in the description. Team Keep It Clean. He has about almost 60,000 subscribers. So he posts his videos every single day. Like he's like, I called him the Black Adam Schefter because he
That's good.
new. Yeah, definitely. He's one of the best, man. Oh, there go AJ, man. That's my co-host AJ. He on
What's
talking.
going on, man?
Hey, what's going on? We got the legend on here today, man. Mr.
Nah.
YouTube, keep it clean.
How you doing over there?
I'm blessed, man. How are you doing?
Good, good. Everything good, man.
Go ahead,
I
AJ.
wanna I wanna okay, I wanna thank you for taking the time out to join us today. I'm sorry, fellas, came on a little late, getting
Nah,
some new things started.
ain't
But
nothing.
I want to thank you for coming on, man, and definitely gonna chop it up a little bit. Take time out of your day to go ahead and collaborate us and talk about this team and what's going on. Shout
Mm,
out to Justin as always for getting us together,
yeah.
getting us on here. And if you haven't already, everybody, please go like and subscribe. Not to just us, but also Ingraven, because I'm telling you, he drops it like it's hot. Like every second,
Oh.
whatever's happening, he bringing it out. I'm just telling you. I know. I'm just telling y'all. But I appreciate all y'all, and yeah, we gonna talk about it today. So
Yeah.
All right, Ingraver, you the guest, so the floor is yours. Go ahead.
But these Ravens, oh man, like where you want me to start? Ravens, they got some issues right now, as we all know. But I think their biggest issue is just they have this lack of consistency when it comes to being able to close out games. They can't close. Um, it's such a sad statistic that in literally every single game this year. These dudes have had double digit leads in every single game this year. Every one. And they 3-3. Like if you have a team having a double digit lead in a game, especially when they've had these double digit leads, like in the Dolphins game, they had it in the fourth quarter. In the Giants game yesterday, they had it in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left. They was up by 10. In the Bills game, they had it for a while in the second quarter, but then I think the Bills scored a touchdown like right before halftime. But they still had them. And if they were gonna be like 2-1 in those three games, that they okay, cool. But they lost those three games. And it's sad. This team is they're not the worst in the world. So I don't want to get it twisted. They're not the worst, but they certainly not even close to the best. They're middle of the pack. Um, they they seem to be very undisciplined. They offense, defense. One of the biggest issues I see with them too is penalties. They get a lot of like silly penalties. If it's like an offsides every once in a while, okay, that's not a big. If it's a false start every once in a while, that's not a big deal. But all the 12 men on the field, I think to me that's sloppy, man. To the illegal formations, illegal shifts, that's like that's sloppy to me, man. The way that it happens and the rate that it happens. They got some issues, man. So I think they got a lot to clean up. The stuff that they have to fix is doable. But then you head over to personnel, and the personnel that's a whole nother issue. But I guess we do step by step.
Like a breakdown Ingraven. AJ, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Oh man, so as a fan, I love watching. I'm a Ravens fan. I just love it.
Mhm.
But
Right.
somebody who is watching the game and seeing what is going on, I am very disappointed at players and coaching staff. Yesterday, Kenyon Drake had over 100 yards rushing.
Hmm.
There's no excuse to stop running him. I don't know if you all noticed, but anytime Mike Davis comes in the game, he's not running the ball. He's just coming in to block.
Yeah.
So everything is pretty much predictable. Now, granted, we did have some drops. Demarcus Robinson, he dropped a crucial slant that could have been a first down.
Yeah.
Um, we know what Andrews can do, but when you take him out, you double team, triple team. Who else
Yeah.
can you go to?
Hmm.
It's no other body. The illegal formations, I'm tired of it, and the reason I'm tired of it because that falls back to coaching on Greg Roman. You keep calling these plays, and you keep wanting to send people in motion, and people are not getting set. And illegal formations have been a problem since Greg Roman has been the offensive coordinator of this team.
Hmm.
Um, it's just silly mistakes. Odafe Away had a penalty yesterday. He getting into it with the offensive lineman.
Right.
My thing is, instead of getting into it with him, show me why we drafted you in the first round. Because as of right now, to me, you are a bust. I mean, that's just how I feel. You haven't shown me that you are a first round pick, first round talent. I don't understand it. Um, the interception by Lamar, that was on him. I can't blame nobody. I can't. He
Hmm.
should have just threw it away. You know, he was trying to make a play. I understand it, but sometimes you got to just think football and throw it away.
Hmm.
Now the fumble, when you're looking downfield trying to throw the ball, you're looking. The defender just made a great play on the ball.
Oh
There's
yeah.
nothing I can say about that. I mean, that's
Hmm.
just you just roll the dice on that. But overall, when it comes to this team, personnel is a huge issue.
Hmm.
Uh, Travis Jones looked good yesterday. They keep taking him out and giving Calais Campbell all these reps. Same with Matabike. I don't understand. Why are we playing a lot of zone when I know for a fact our
Hmm.
corners can man up?
Hmm.
It's just a lot going on. I don't know if they're trying to sabotage this team or what, but it's disappointing, and we hate to see it. But right now, we of course you still want to win games. We
Right.
still ahead in the division, but at some point, who is going to be held accountable?
Hmm.
It comes down to coaching and personnel.
Yeah. That's a real good question about accountability. I know Harbaugh talked about that in his presser today, but we just want to see just action. We want to see that accountability in action. We don't just want to hear somebody say, "Oh yeah, we got to take care of things. We got to clean some stuff up." Because I mean, they said that in week 2 after that collapse against the Dolphins. Then they said it a couple of weeks later after the collapse against the Bills. Then they said it after this collapse against the Giants. So something's got to be done. What that is that will be done, who knows? We'll see. But something got to give because the way that they've been doing things obviously is not working. Well, half the time it's working, half the time it's not. And Ravens just the schedule. I know some people thinking, oh yeah, well our schedule gets easier. In my opinion, it really doesn't. I know the Browns they struggling right now. The Ravens got the Browns up next, but that's still a division team. And like Brown's gonna bring it out for the Ravens, man. They all them other games, they're like, whatever. But against the Ravens, Steelers enough times too, and Bengals division game, they gonna bring it. And then the Ravens, they play the Bucks after that. I know the Bucks, they just lost to the Steelers. But still that's Tom Brady and them at their crib. And so Ravens just they gotta be ready. Then they play New Orleans. Usually like because we saw in the game yesterday, Leonard Williams had been out for a while, but coincidentally, he came back against the Ravens. And I know Michael Thomas, the wide receiver, Jarvis Landry, they both been out. And even I think Chris Olave was out too with a concussion. I just bet that Monday Night Football game against the Ravens on November 7th, I want to say. That'll be the game they come back for. So, again, Ravens schedule, it's not an easy one, like so many people are saying. So, Ravens, they got a lot that they need to step up.
I totally agree with everything both of y'all said. Right now, this is just an undisciplined football team. Like,
Mm-hmm.
silly penalties, like AJ said, illegal motions, unsportsmanlike conduct. Then
Mm-hmm.
offensively, it's like, what's the identity of this freaking team? Do
Mm.
you want to throw the ball 50 times, or do you want to run the ball? Do you want to have a balanced attack? We do not know. Because Drake getting 10 yards a clip, then he just all of a sudden, every time he gets to the goal line, I don't know why he does this Ingraven AJ. He goes 3 receivers, pistol. You got a 300-pound fullback. Is the I formation banned in football or something? I get everybody wants to be Sean McVay and Andy Reid, but line up in the I formation, put Patrick Card right there, and smash the football. If you can't get 1 yard, that's on your offensive line. It's like football is not. It's an easy game. It's a kid's game. People just make it more complicated. It's just Lamar, he takes a bad sack on that 3rd and 15. Remember when they just bunched the middle up like they was just spying on him? Just throw the ball away, and that's 3 points. Like he started to cut back, and 3 people really sitting there waiting for him, and then Tuck had the punt. You know, it was just a lot of miscues. Saquon didn't really have a great game, but he did gashes a little bit. We definitely got to do better in our run fits on defense. And then Mike McDonald, man, like I said, let Travis Jones play, man. Like the kid is up there giving you everything. Kid coming to give you a sack. Let Calais Campbell just come in and rotate and be like a player coach because he's probably gonna retire this year.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Let Travis Jones play. Like this is like the defense is getting better, but then he reverted back to his old ways, playing zone and all that. That and Marlon Humphrey play, man. The Giants got their best receivers out on the street clothes. Let them Wardell Robinson and Richie James and Marcus Robinson. Let them get them guys at the line of scrimmage. Like it's just little stuff like that tick me off. Then with Harbaugh, like I said, he doesn't get on his guys. Like, do you see the run work? People just go to grab room and like, hey, the ball in Cheney Drake's hand. He's too passive. That's what I see sometimes. You know, he doesn't like a fire under nobody's ass. It's just too much. Hey, like, this was a tough loss, man. Lamar, you gotta throw the ball away, man. You don't force that. Let the defense. You got 2 minutes left. Let the defense seal the game.
Yeah.
Like I said, it happens. Kayvon Thibodeau just made it.
He made a play on the ball.
Yeah, like that's why they took him 5th overall. And then, like I said,
yeah.
We all knew this game. Anybody who really knows football knew this game was gonna be tight. Like, because for one, you got a defense coordinator that knows you inside and out. And former players that know you inside and out for the most part too. So we already knew this was going to be a gritty game. Then you go on a road. So we already knew this.
But see, at the same time, it's like, Wink knows the Ravens offense in and out. He went up against them in practice every day for however many years. But I would think like at the same time, Ravens should know Wink in and out on the flip side. So they should have been able to take more advantage of things that Wink and tendencies that Wink would have, but you ain't see that.
Yeah, like I said, we like receiver position, man. We missing Bateman bad. Today he give us plays in and DeMarcus Robinson dropped the Kyushu. The only person he really trusts is Mandrews, and then we all know that's not going to work. If we're lucky enough to get there, they're going to double them, triple them. They're going to take them out the equation anyway, possible.
Yeah.
So we have to go get another receiver. Like they should have made the trade for Robbie Anderson. Kick up that 1st round pick. You can work out the contract stuff later, the structure, whatever. Like Deshaun Jackson at 35 years old. I'm not talking about it, but it's like, okay, why not go get Will Fuller if you want to be a speed guy? He's younger. I get both of them get injured the same amount of time. So it's like, if you want to get Will Fuller, he's 7 years younger. So,
oof, I didn't realize Will Fuller was that young. I know he's still young. I didn't realize he's still that young though.
So go get him or like activate Andy Isabella. That's give you some speed right there too. But we definitely got to make a move at receivers. Like we hype these guys up all off season, man. Man, you said this after we talked at the draft, and man, you always say this like it's different between going off of practice and preseason when you know the coverages and they not playing. I guess versus somebody who's not going to sit there and let you beat them because it's practice. No. Like you got to make a move in some way somehow. I don't know, but they're just not going to cut it. If you don't trust nobody, but
yeah, and I think this is one of the reasons why I wanted the Ravens to get a bigger body wide receiver. When you look at the way that he trusts Mark Andrews, he obviously trusts Mark Andrews more than anybody else, but for good reason. If Mark Andrews is open, Lamar will usually hit him. But if Mark Andrews is covered, Lamar will still give Mark Andrews an opportunity to make that play. Why? Because Mark Andrews could go up and get it. He can go up, reach up, because we've seen Mark Andrews come down with some crazy catches over people in traffic and whatnot. We've seen him have some easy drops too now, but we didn't see him come down with some easy catches. I mean, some crazy catches and make those plays. But when all of your receivers are just the small, like Devin Duvernay, 5'10". Prochet.
Receivers at 6 feet is DeMarcus Robinson and Bateman.
And Bateman out. So yeah, man, it's rough, man. So like, and with a smaller receiver, like everything got to be that much more perfect as far as the throw. It's a smaller catch radius, it's a smaller window. So I think a bigger receiver would help make stuff that much more easy. But Ravens just throughout Lamar's career so far, it's pretty much been little guys at receiver. Like Hollywood, he was like 5'8", I think, 5'8", 5'9". Seth Roberts, he might have been like 5'10", 5'11", maybe. Willie Snead.
Seth Roberts is 6'1", I believe.
Oh, he is? It ain't seem like
6'1".
But
Yeah, he's 6'1".
I ain't realized that then, man. But Willie Snead was like 5'10". Sammy Watkins, he was over 6. I think he like 6'1", 6'2", but he was hurt.
Yeah.
But
and Miles
Boykin, Boykin 6'5". He was 6'4", 6'5", but
5'9", but that's
it. And then there's Bryant, throw up the X, but that that was rough though, man.
Got him way too late.
Yeah.
I think the problem is we are only allowed to have wide receivers on our roster is because the NFL requires it. When you look at us, tight ends is that's all we do. Yesterday the game, Josh Oliver, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews. I mean, you look at it, I'm like, yo, when we have wide receivers, we're not using them, and then the play calling is just. I mean, I don't understand it. I just feel like Roman's time is up. It's been up. Not going to keep saying it. It's time for him to go. The type of offense that we are running is just too basic, too vanilla. The routes are basic. They overlap. The only time, you look at Andrews. I mean, he can do it all. We know that. But if you take him out of the equation, who else can you rely on? I will say Isaiah Likely is not ready. Josh Oliver. We traded a pick for him. I don't know why he's not it. Nick Boyle, we don't even use no more. I only seen him, I think 2-3 snaps yesterday. I'm not sure why. So when you look at it, I'm like, what are we doing with this team? Because we have the running game. Kenyon Drake was killing him yesterday. Why would I stop what's working? It's not broken. We get to the goal line. And JP, you know how I feel about Patrick Ricard. It's unstoppable. Why are we stopping? You get down there and then you run the same formations. All you do is switch out the personnel. Teams know what is coming, especially Wink. So it's like, what do we do? Who needs to be held accountable? And it's sad that Lamar doesn't have a true number one wide receiver because as of right now, I'm looking at it. Bateman, we can say he's a number one, but the best ability is availability. He's not available. Duvernay, we know he can play, but his role is limited because of play calling. So who do we have? And you bring in Deshaun Jackson, another aging veteran who I'm not saying he can't play, but when are we actually going to go and get a wide receiver, a young guy who can grow with us and be complimentary to Lamar? Because if not, I'm telling you, it's not going to be good. You cannot keep playing this type of football, especially in the playoffs. It's not going to work.
I agree.
I agree. Like I said, I like the test for Ingraven. You gotta get a bigger receiver. Like Robbie Anderson, 6'3". Why not give up that 2024 5th or 6th, whatever they reportedly said? That's nothing. Those guys not even gonna make your team. Like you have to hit on these receivers, man. Like in the draft, like you gotta take the more proven guy over a guy over potential. Like you might gotta like at 14. I love Kyle Hamilton. I think he's gonna be good, but he wasn't he wasn't needed because, like I said, he wasn't needed. Chuck Clark still got the other safeties. They could have traded up 2 spots and got Chris Olave. Could have traded up 2 spots and got him. They could have drafted Jameson Williams. Yeah, granted he ain't playing right now, but neither is David Ajabo. So what you mean? But when you get back though, that would have been a reliable target for Lamar. So it's just or at 45, take George Pickens. Like like we gotta hold him accountable too, because like he does good making trades, but drafting his draft class is horrible.
Well, I mean,
It's
he's made some nice trades, but he has made some nice trades, but I can't say he's good at doing trades. I mean, he's straight, but a lot of stuff ends up falling through because we hear about a lot of stuff after the fact, like, oh, they talking to this person, oh, they just couldn't get a deal done, or they couldn't strike a deal, they couldn't agree to terms or whatever. Because I think what I do it myself. I think a lot of us do it. We all remember the Marcus Peters trade. That was the one right there. It's like, oh, Marcus Peters for a 5th round pick and Kenny Young. And now Kenny Young, he not even with the Rams no more. I mean, he a free agent now because he got signed by somebody else and then he cut.
The last place he was at was Denver, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they cut him last week or the week before, something like that. But remember the Marcus Peters trade because that was a huge trade, big impact. Like immediately, his first game, he got a pick 6. And then after that, it's been like, oh, okay. Like he's drafted all these players and end up shipping them off for draft picks, and it's been a lack of replacing them with quality. You look at Orlando Brown Jr. We knew that, especially once Ronnie got paid, we knew Orlando Brown Jr. wasn't getting paid too. It would have been lovely, but we knew he wasn't getting paid too. He knew he wasn't getting paid too. That's when he started the whole, oh, I'm a left tackle. I was like, okay, cool, get your money. I ain't got no problem with the players trying to get their money. But they traded him away and never filled that void at right tackle. And then, of course, then Ronnie Stanley, with his injuries, it just all like fell apart. With Hollywood, I mean, we were just talking about the receivers a little bit ago. They traded him away and they never really replaced him. With Hayden Hurst, they remember in 2019, they had all the 3 tight end sets, tight end this, tight end that. Tight ends was going off. Hayden Hurst, Mark Andrews, and Nick Boyle. They were doing their thing. Nice little trio. They traded Hayden Hurst away and never really replaced him. I mean, we were hoping that Isaiah Likely could end up being a replacement. Charlie Kolar, that was a tricky one because Ravens, they doubled down at tight end. But I think like now looking back at it and knowing what the situation is, I didn't know that Charlie Kolar was going to miss all this time. I think Ravens must have known because, again, they doubled down at tight end in the draft and they already had Andrews, obviously. They already had Nick Boyle. They already even had Josh Oliver, but they still doubled down at tight end. So they must have known like, oh, this guy Kolar, he going to miss some time with his I forgot what the injury is.
Hernia. He had a hernia.
Hernia. There we go. Okay. So it just a lot of times for guys that they'll trade away, they don't end up replacing them, and then they'll draft people, and then these people won't even be on the team for that much longer. Like Tyree Phillips, I know he was happy the other day and I was like, oh man, I didn't even realize Tyree Phillips. They were like, oh, Tyree Phillips coming in the game for the Giants. I'm like, oh man, and then that's who Odafe Away was getting into it with was Ben Bredesen, another Ravens draft pick. That's when Odafe Away was holding up his helmet and stuff, and then he put it on the ground and kicked it. And that was that 15-yard penalty. And I think on that play, and this just goes back to the Ravens not being disciplined. On that play was the Ravens had just got to stop on 3rd and short. So I think it was 4th down. And then Odafe Away holding the helmet up, and then they end up giving the 1st down up. And so, yeah, man, with EDC, he's not a bad GM. He's not a bad GM. But I think he just got with the draft, it's got to be better. And it has been getting better over time. He's been getting more impact from his draft picks over time, especially the 2020 guys. And I know this only their 3rd year, excuse me. So this is usually when a lot of guys start either blossoming or they just fall off. So Matt Abike, he's been doing better. He had a good game the other day. Devin Duvernay, like we mentioned, finally been, well, not the Giants game, but overall this year he's been making more of an impact. And J.K. Dobbins, slowly but surely, yesterday definitely wasn't his game, but hopefully he'll get there. But you're starting to see more impact from guys right away, and that's the goal. But you got to see more. You need to see more, and then one of the biggest indictments right now, the things that EDC got going against him is, hey, your franchise quarterback. If you know this is your franchise quarterback, you believe this is your franchise quarterback, this should have been done. This should have been done. Your quarterback publicly came out and said, hey, after week 1, we ain't talking no more. We ain't talking no more during the season. After the season, cool. Before the season, cool. Week 1 come around, we ain't talking no more during the season. You should have got this thing done, finished, a wrap. It should have been over with, but it hasn't been. And of course, it obviously does take 2. It takes 2 for sure, because Lamar got to be willing to agree, and EDC and Bishotti and them, they got to throw a good enough offer. So it takes 2 sides, but this thing should have been done. So that's why I can't say he's a great GM. He's good. He's not. I don't think he got to great yet. He got some things that he could do to get there, but it's going to be a little bit of time.
Yeah, I'm just about to answer some of these questions. Raven C says, shout out to Raven C. My guy. He said, we're going nowhere until Harbaugh ego is gone. His ego, his ego, his personality, all that needs to be gone. It's that simple, man. You can't keep losing games the same way. How long are we going to live off 2012, man? Ingraven, I don't know if you saw the last show, but I said that. How long are we going to live off that? How long? Yeah. Like, I get it, 150 wins and all that, but we have to be honest about John Harbaugh. He took over a team that was 13-3, that had an injury-riddled season. They won 5-11, but that nucleus from that 13-3 team still was there. They got hurt, things went downhill, and then Billy got fired. So he took over a team that was 13-3 prior to when he got hired. So he didn't have to do much. Ray Lewis and Ed Reed mandated the locker room. Mind you, Coach Ed Reed and all that, we were missing the playoffs. Then comes Lamar, come save his job. Remember, they were great. We agreed to part ways with him. Then 8 comes and saves his job. We go forward to Coach B and get an extension. But let's just be honest, man. Tom Coughlin won 2 Super Bowls. Bye-bye. Mike McCarthy won a bye-bye. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl second year.
Yeah, exactly.
For whatever reason, I think he got done dirty, but hey, that's my opinion. Bye-bye. So why are we so wild? Oh, hell no, don't fire John Harbaugh. They act like he's Vince Lombardi or Don Shula. Like, what did I miss?
Now, something that stuck out to me. There was a coach of the Broncos, I believe. I want to say it was John Fox, to where he had made it all the way to the Super Bowl, and the Broncos lost, and he got fired. And then was Gary Kubiak the coach when the Broncos won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, that was the first year. First year.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, so even a team was even willing to do that. Like, the coach made it all the way there, and they still were like, no, you gotta go. So yeah, like you mentioned, as far as them, a lot of people, and maybe even the GM, the owner, still living off of 2012. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous, because you always hear, hey, NFL is a what have you done for me lately league. NFL stands for not for long. And I get continuity. I get you don't want to be this revolving door at head coach, anything like that. So I respect that, because you don't want to be. But it's important that you look at patterns, you look at tendencies, and you look at what it is and what it's not, and what it is right now, what it has been, and all that good stuff. And you got to make some tough decisions, man. You got to make some real tough decisions, because are you looking to be a franchise that's just hanging around, you good with being in the thick of things, or are you looking to be a franchise that's really consistently getting after it? Really like getting the most out of your players, getting the most out of your rosters. And nobody should be expecting no coach to come in and be perfect. Shouldn't expect any coach, whether new coach, old coach, whatever, to be perfect. But you don't want this coach making silly mistakes like they made in the past, especially if they've been doing this thing for 14 years. You don't want clock management to be a problem. You don't want decision making to be an issue. These are things that they shouldn't be an issue for like a 14-year head coach, man. And as far as like the collapses that the Ravens have been having, I I thought like maybe last year would have taught them a valuable lesson as far as the collapse and the not being able to close it out. Because as you know, like Ravens started 8-3, and then they ended up being 8-9, I think, and it's they couldn't finish, so they had problems finishing. I know Lamar was out for a good chunk of the season, but still they had opportunities. Still, even with Lamar out, they still had opportunities to finish, but they didn't. They didn't. And now this year, it's been a lot of the same stuff, same issues with finishing, but with a much better roster. Like you got Lamar there, you got Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey there. Like you got your guys there, but you still have had issues. So that's how you definitely know one of the biggest issues has started from the top.
All right, AJ, I'm gonna go ahead and let you answer this. We also answering some of the chat. I don't want to think we're ignoring. Raven C says we getting Grandpa Jackson. Lamar was in first grade when John Jackson was drafted. He wasn't, but
It's so annoying, man.
go ahead and let you respond to that, AJ. I put it right there so you can see it.
Said we getting Grandpa Jackson. I mean, it's to me, it's play calling, man, and it comes down to personnel. John Harbaugh has officially turned into the Doc Rivers of the NFL. That's basically what he is. I mean, you got to surround Lamar with no weapons. We see when the Bills went and got Stephon Diggs, how that elevated his game. You know what I'm saying? We seen what Kansas City did with Tyreek, McCole Hardman, and all of them. I mean, they got weapons. They just don't have one guy to throw it to. We seen how Miami looked with Tyreek Hill and Jaden Waddle now. The problem is we are not investing. And here's my thing. If you're not investing into a wide receiver for Lamar, a true number one, then that makes me think you don't want him as our quarterback because you need to give him the tools in order to succeed. I can't be a mechanic and I ain't got no tools. So it falls down to coaching. When it comes to EDC, as far as the draft, to me, besides Linderbaum, all his first round picks have been super questionable. And then, not to mention, they have been hurt. You draft Hollywood, his foot was hurt. You draft Patrick Queen, he wasn't hurt, but Patrick Queen, the way I feel is though he won't be a Raven once his contract is up, and if so, it's going to be on short money, and it's going to be only for depth. You look at Odafe Away, he came out later on. We found out he had a shoulder injury. You look at him, where's his production at? Tyler Linderbaum, he came out with a foot injury. Then you go draft David Ojabo, who I'm not saying he can't be good, but he's coming off Achilles injury. Juwan James came off one. Look what just happened. He played and it blew. So there's no guarantee that you are going to get top production out of these guys. Now on the flip side, we did have Bobby Wagner come in, Darius Smith. We did have a couple of wide receivers who they said that they were thinking about it, are going to come in, but nobody has signed. Why won't they sign with the team? I know it's not Lamar. I know it's not Ravens culture. Why don't they want to play? Players have spoke on it. Steve Smith, Matthew Judon, Hollywood Brown. It's time for Greg Roman to go.
Great. Matthew, shout out to Matthew. He says, I'm very upset with our team right now.
Oh, straight up like that. Just very upset with the team. Hey, I get it. I get it. I get the frustration. I think a lot of people feel the exact same way as far as being upset with the Ravens because we just envisioned like after last year, like the way that they had lost so many close games. A lot of us were thinking, oh man, just imagine if they had Lamar. Just imagine if our offensive line was healthy. Imagine if the defense was healthy. We were just imagining these scenarios like, man, imagine a much healthier Ravens team. They're not losing these games. These games that they will lose by 1 point last year or lose by 2 or 3 points last year, oh, they win those games because they got several players that will make that much more of a difference. But we still been seeing the Ravens lose these games, and we've been seeing the Ravens lose these games in worse ways because the Ravens they've established these big leads, and then it all come crashing down.
All right, Matthew again. He said we should be 6-0. I'm gonna go ahead, AJ. I'm gonna let you take that.
I agree. We should be 6-0. You look at the for one, you look at the mental mistakes that was caused by John Harbaugh, and I would say Lamar for keep saying let's go for it on on fourth down when you got a Hall of Fame kicker over there on the sideline. That's no excuse. Any right now, if we was to cut, release, or do anything with Justin Tucker, he will only be out of a job for less than a millisecond. I promise you that. Because he will get scooped up, and any team in the NFL would love to go into battle with him, knowing they got a secret weapon. Then you look at the play calling. What I don't understand it. Like I said, the passes, the plays, it's just so basic. It's so vanilla. The illegal formations, all of that plays a part in it. It's undisciplined football. But then again, when you keep sending multiple guys in motion and you keep got to line up guys on this side and that side, I expect penalties to be called because it causes confusion. You try to confuse the defense, but you're confusing our players.
Hey, you ain't lying, man. Simplicity with the Ravens. That could go a long way, especially on defense too. Because I see a lot of times when, like in yesterday's game, for example, when you look at the actual stats, take away the touchdowns. I mean, I wish we could take away the touchdowns. It'd be a different game. But when you look at the numbers, the yards for the Giants offense, they were not going off. They were not going crazy against Ravens defense, anything like that. But then if you watch the game and you see it was those crucial plays, it was in third down plays where Ravens defense could not get off the field when it mattered most. Like first down, they will stop them. Second down, they stop them. It's like, all right, let's get it. Third down, first down. And then on the touchdowns, the 2 passing touchdowns from Daniel Jones, one of them, the receiver, he was wide open in the flats, and I think that he couldn't even realize he didn't even realize how wide open it was because it looked like he got surprised by how open he was because he almost stumbled out of bounds at the one, but he made it in the end zone. And then for the second touchdown pass to the tight end when Ravens were playing zone, and the tight end he was going by Josh Bynes, but Josh Bynes he started looking at somebody else. He started looking at a receiver that was going in the back of the end zone. He turned his back, and then in the meantime, he was trying to turn around and cover the tight end that was in front of him, and Daniel Jones hit him, and it was right before he got the Marlon Humphrey zone. So they just some of the stuff that they do is like you mentioned. It looks like it confuses them. And this defense, it was supposed to be known for not being confusing. It's supposed to be known for how simple it is and how easy it is for the players to get it. And it's obviously still a work in progress. It's a new defense, new system for everybody. But they still got some kinks that they definitely got to work out.
All right, Matthew says, I would think this week says Wink should have stayed and the OC should have been gone. I agree. I have my issues with Wink Mondale for sure, but he was way better than Mike McDonald. At least he will be aggressive. So, not sit back, play zone. But I will say this, since Mike McDonald's been here, our turnovers went up. I think this is the only game we didn't get a turnover defensively.
Oh, I just realized that. Oh, no. They did get one. They got one. I mean, yeah, they technically got one. It was the situation was right before halftime, and Daniel Jones was holding the ball, trying to get a Hail Mary. Yeah, and Patrick Queen knocked it out, and Chuck Clark picked it up. So they technically got one.
But that's a 4 fumble recovery. So we got a turnover every game. So like we had like 8 turnovers total last year. We almost doubled that. All those yards and points that went up the turnovers or whatever. So I guess it's I take the good with the bad type thing.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah, he got he was the fall guy for last year because everything was spiraling hill. And I already said this Greg Roman, man, he should have been gone at the 2020 after that Buffalo Bills. Like, the play calling was there. Like, the run game was working once again. You want to throw the ball in the red zone, pick. Tyron Johnson runs it back 70 yards. After that, I was done with him. I said, yeah, go ahead. Coach at BYU or somewhere. And let's get a legit offense. You got T. Williams. You got I'm saying T. Martin and Keith Williams. Somebody's going to hire them guys. T. Martin turned down the Bills offensive coordinator job in state game.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Like, come on now, we gotta get them guys a shot, man. Harbaugh, you did it once before and fired Cam Cameron. Now one of you do it again. And we end up winning the Super Bowl. Not saying I could happen here, but you never know. But I agree with Matthew. We definitely got rid of the wrong court. David Dyer says a trade up. No, EDC need those picks to grab a backup fullback and running backs who want to make the same. I'll get you. I'll let you take it.
Uh,
Well, here's the thing.
Oh,
We
AJ,
wasted.
AJ, I got you next. Raven, go ahead. Like,
Okay.
okay. I mean, with that just reminds me of just wasting draft picks because it takes me back to last year. I remember the Ravens drafted Sean Wade. They
Yep.
drafted Ben Mason. I think both in the fifth round. They drafted Dalen Hayes in the fifth round too. The same year that they drafted both Sean Wade and Ben Mason, they cut both of them. And I'm like, what was that about? And then the following year, Dalen Hayes get cut. He got cut this year. So it's you got to look to that's why we talked about drafting. Got to be much better. It has to be much better. You got to get much more impact, and especially like again, hopefully they do sign Lamar. Right now, I still got my doubts about it. We'll see how it goes. But if they're gonna sign Lamar, then yeah, we know Lamar is gonna take a nice chunk of the cap space up. And just because he takes up a nice chunk of the cap space is not gonna prevent them from doing anything. But the drafting is going to have to be better because you draft somebody that means they're on a rookie contract for at least 4 years. And that if you can draft a good quality of players and guys that's going to come in and make an impact, that could save you a lot of money. So you can go out and still continue to get some nice little superstar players and whatnot and bring them in and help out. But they got to get better at the drafting and not be and in addition to getting better at drafting, and I'm about to get out of here, they also gotta get better or just be willing to let it go. And what I mean when I say let it go, you ain't gotta hold on to all them draft picks. Like I remember this offseason, like before the draft this offseason, I was 2,000% sure, like, all right, Ravens got 10 draft picks. It is no way that these dudes are about to use 10 draft. I know they're not gonna use no 10 draft picks. What happened? They ended up using 11. Because they ended up trading away Hollywood to get another first rounder for Tyler Linderbaum. But I was for sure that they were going to use some of the draft picks, like maybe in the fourth round where they had like 6 picks. They were going to use some of those to trade up in the first, but they didn't. They stood pat and they didn't trade any of them. And I was real surprised by that. But you got to go for quality over quantity. But appreciate you having me on, man. This was fun, man.
All right, man. Thank you. Y'all go check out Ingraven, man. Subscribe to his channel. I'm pretty sure everybody has. For those who haven't, man, he got an amazing thing going over there. Be a Patreon. I think I'm still a Patreon on his thing. I got to double check, but he got questions from subscribers. But so definitely send him an email. Team, keep it clean. He will definitely shout you out in the next segment when he does it. Thank you again, brother, man.
For sure, man.
On your platform ahead, man. Appreciate your time, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. Appreciate you. Appreciate it both of y'all. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you, man, for coming out, man.
Oh yeah,
Like I
for
said,
sure.
collaborate with us, Mr. YouTube. Keep it clean, man. I appreciate it, man.
All right, thank you, man. I'll see you over.
Well,
Sure. All right, AJ, this one right here is for you, man. Said David Dyer, don't forget Hobbs wants that special team player.
I mean, yeah, he was a special teams coach, but here's the thing when we talk football. If you could, a tackle is a tackle. A pass rush is a pass rush. Things are simple. We don't have the personnel to do what we want to do. Odafe Away, I keep saying it week in and week out, he's not our guy. Queen is not our guy. I will say yesterday, Malik Harrison played a great game to me. I mean, he was all over Saquon. We talked about it. I feel like he needs more time. I don't know why AJ Klein, considering we just picked him up from the Giants, why didn't he get more time when he could see and know some of the formations of what's going on? He had a penalty, but I mean, it comes down to coaching. Harbaugh on the sideline, he looks lost, and I want to bring up something. I don't know about you or y'all, the viewers in here who looking at us and sending questions. When I watch Lamar on the sideline, he's not talking to none of his receivers. He goes and sits down. He pouts. He just sits down. He's not communicating with nobody. I mean, to me, that's kind of bad. And I noticed that a little bit last year, and I noticed it this year for sure. He doesn't communicate with his receivers. He don't go over there and talk to them or none of that. I mean, is that him or is that how you feel? Or I mean, what do you think? Have you noticed that, JP?
Nah, you're right. Definitely got to get over there and get on that with the tablet and all that. Get the receivers, get the whole offense as a whole, the linemen, get your coordinators, position coach. All y'all need to be over there together for the offense to work and work. Everything got be. It's a chain link. If the O line out, they not performing. The offense sputters. If the running back's not performing, the offense sputters. The quarterback don't do his job, the offense sputters. The receiver don't do the offense sputters. The right plays not being called, the offense sputters. So all of them to get a whole offense together and a position coach who need to be over there with the OC, trying to figure this thing out. Oh, we missed the Mike blitzing on this play. Oh, we missed the corner blitzing down. Oh, we missed the overload on the backs, or when they go on the left and they brought more people than we could block. Like it's just JK, you missed this hole. That was a touchdown. You gotta point those things out. You know what I mean? That way you can have a successful, sustainable offense. So I totally agree. Raven C said, "Did you catch Jimmy Smith?" I'm guessing he went mint presser. His press conference. Shout out to Jimmy. Retired. He said, "Hey, Reed and Ray and Suggs were the leader of the team and help Hobbs too." I just said that, Raven. See, look, people that been around for the Ravens for a minute know this, man. Like he came. He was like a teacher that just took over. He is like a teacher that just came in and they had to do nothing but just sign papers.
He
Teach
was
him.
like I said, he
Uh,
Doc Rivers, bro. He
yeah,
think about it. When Doc Rivers took that Boston team, well, when the team took Doc Rivers to that championship with KG, Ray Allen, Rondo, and Paul Pierce, the players came there. They made Doc Rivers look good. Then you seen where Doc Rivers has been on a decline after that, and he's had championship caliber teams. I mean, it's there. John Harbaugh is the Doc Rivers of the NFL, and his tenure is up. It's no fire, it's no leader, and you see it on his face on the sideline. He just honestly he looks lost. I hate to say it, but he looks lost.
I agree. Like I said, man, we had 4 or 5 Hall of Famers around the roster. Like I said, the team went 13-3. They just, like I said, the following year they had a down year because they took their team over. Everything was in place. You had to do. Only thing you did do, I will agree with. Give him credit for. He told them to draft Joe Flacco because he knew Cowboy and the one to answer. So I'll give him that. But other than that, everything else was in place. David Dyer. Lamar go throwing the McNabb's number one receiver. Yeah, man. Like we gotta shout out to McNabb. He need to be in the Hall of Fame, man. Like he did more with less more than any quarterback in the 2000s. Man. Shout out to him. I just want to put that out there. But yeah, they gotta get him. They gotta get him a bona fide number one. The EDC is so kick happy. So I get it. You don't gotta do what Les Snead do. You don't gotta mortgage the future. You don't gotta do that. Nobody's saying do that. But you can give up a first for a year. You give up a first for 1 year because you're gonna be picking from 18 to 25 anyway. So the cream of the crop gone. So get that first up and go get a DJ Moore. Get that first up and go get like a superstar receiver. Like you know what I mean? Like go see what the fucking there's some guys like that that you could probably get like DJ Moore. Who else? Who else needs to be on the move trade wise? It's a lot of receivers here. Man, go call up Tampa Bay and see what they want. You know what I mean? For
Yeah,
Russell, for Russell Gage, they got so many receivers. Russell Gage. Like I said, we could have traded for Chris Godwin. We could have drafted Chris Godwin. So you gotta do better. Like Michael Gallup, like I could have went and grabbed him last year for Gallup. Like Amari Cooper, they got him for 5th and 6th. I know the contract was hefty, but Cleveland managed the money. If they can do it, and we got a better front office, why can't we do it? They just traded
it's,
for him, man. Like it was guys that we could have got, man. Like you just keep. Like I know he's been attacking the receiver position in the draft, but he hasn't hitting on the right players. So, like you should have got Chris Olave, and you should have got guys like AJ Brown. You should have got DJ Moore when he was when he came out there, Kevin Ridley. Like you definitely gotta hit on that. Like, just now we could have got Robbie Anderson for next. So
a
we got
fifth round pick.
we got this. I'm gonna let you get this one, AJ. He said, David Dyer again. He said chasing injured players in the draft and free agency, like y'all said, has been an issue. It's just odd.
Yeah, like I said, I touched on it. Like when you look at the draft, Hollywood came in, his foot was messed up, and not to mention, like we said, Hollywood is 5'8", 5'9". He weighed 130 pounds, maybe when he got his cleats and his equipment on. Then you look at Odafe Away. You know, he had the shoulder injury. That's why he wore the shoulder brace and he had surgery on it. Then you look at Charlie Cola, hernia. David Ojabo. You look at his Achilles. You look at Tyler Linderbaum. He had the foot injury, but Tyler Linderbaum balling. You know, that's one pick I could say he hit on in the first round. He's actually balling. He's doing good. But other than that, the rest of these guys, you look at them, and I'm talking speaking on first round picks. Queen is not it. Ojabo is not it. Hamilton yesterday he kept communicating because I guess he was so lost. I mean, it's good to communicate, but he didn't know where he was supposed to line up at. Um, Rashad Bateman, groin injury, training camp coming in late in the season last year. Now he got the foot injury, and I think he was hurt at Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like, why do we keep drafting these players who are constantly made out of glass? And here's the thing: Rashad Bateman is still not a number one. He still hasn't proved that. He had some games where he caught touchdowns and caught great passes, but he's not a true number one. In crunch time, can you really go to Rashad Bateman? We don't know. He hasn't been available.
I agree. Like I said, like you just said. I mean, but I think Queen and Daffy always gonna be okay. They just by them being late bloomers, like Queen ain't start to sing again. Like you see the talent there, he just got to put it all together. Same with a Daffy, like football and stuff. But the athletic ability and speed is there. They just gotta get hooked up with it better. But Cal Hamilton, he's gonna be okay. He just need a limited role to next year. Because I think they're gonna probably part ways with Chuck, get the, say that catch, whatever. But overall, like I said, these last two first round picks have been okay. They could have been better. There's definitely some guys I feel like we could have gotten. I know you feel the same way. He definitely has to just be more aggressive and just draft better. But yeah, like they use players. If you know a player been banged up a lot, definitely try to stay away from at least to the second and third round. So yeah, like a job over, much as I like him, that, we could have took Jermaine Johnson at 25 and just
Yep.
14 and still took Linderbaugh. And then at 45, you could have got. I mean, well, you could have took Jermaine Johnson at 14, Linderbaugh 25, and 45 you take George Pickens. Now you got three guys that help you out this year. So I didn't get. They should have just took Jermaine Johnson at 14. Look what he's doing with the Jets, man. Like scheme, fit, and all that. Like I hate when people say that 3-4-4-3. The only difference is the defensive end is standing up versus
That's
having.
it.
That's
That's
all.
it.
Like people act like it's just like it's oh no, it's not. That's all. You go from a 2 point to a 3 point. That's it. It's not that big. Like Jermaine Johnson would have done justice. They should have took him at 14, took Lindenbaugh, and then took George Pickens, and then boom. We're not even having this conversation about it. Jason, what's up? Yeah, what's up, Jason? Yeah, he was on here last week, recapping the Bengals game with us. Y'all go subscribe to Huddle Up Films. He do a lot of all 22 breakdowns over there. Man. We're over 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to, get up there. We got ways to go. So we're gonna keep working. But definitely, shout out, go support this. Tomlin won with Coward team. Yeah. The Steelers. Yeah, absolutely, Jason. They Coward team won a Super Bowl the last year. They got 8-8. They knew he wasn't coming back, so the morale was down. So both of them inherited pretty good teams. You know what I mean? One inherited a 13-1 team, one inherited a Super Bowl win team. So you're right. Dot Rivers reference is spot on. Yeah, AJ. Yeah. That was a good. Malik need to be starting over John Spot. I'm gonna go ahead and let you start. I'm gonna let you start, bro. You already know we both the same.
Tell me something I don't know. Malik, he needs to be starting on this team, especially. I mean, yesterday when you watched the game, man, he was all over Saquon in the hole, and he was following him out on passes. I mean, he was all over him. He couldn't do nothing. Bynes, as much as we like him, he's another player who pretty much we got for IQ and depth. But at this point, then you got AJ Clown on the roster. You don't need Bynes. Bynes, to me, he needs to get a demoted role. Bring him in certain situations. But even on the goal line, to that when the tight end scored, when he passed him off to Marlon Humphrey and put him in his zone. Why is Bynes in there on goal line situations? It should be Kristen Welch and Malik Harrison, or it should have been AJ Klein and Malik Harrison because for one, you got Saquon back there. Queen is not going to hit Saquon one on one in the hole. I mean, he's gonna look at him.
Not though, but yeah, I agree. Saquon body and legs.
He gonna look at him and he's just gonna be like too small. Malik Hurst, he wants the contact. He wants that physicality. He showed it. I'm a tackle Saquon. I got him. I'm gonna get him. But I mean, I don't understand. Malik Hurst needs to be starting on his team. But like I said, the thing when it comes to our linebacking core, Queen, if you sit Queen, you cannot go back to Queen. If you sit Bynes, you can go back to him. But if you sit Queen, you cannot go back to Queen, and then he will officially be labeled a bust. So they keep Queen out there. But Malik Hurst strictly needs to be at middle linebacker. And, it's a coaching thing. It's personnel. Like how we talk about Calais Campbell getting all these snaps. It's a coaching thing. It's personnel. I don't know if it's hard. I don't know if it's Mike McDonald. But something needs to be addressed.
I agree. Like you said, I bet that I love Josh Bynes. We want a Super Bowl with us, but three things in life that is undefeated: death, taxes, and father time. And father time has slowly crept up on Uncle Josh Bynes. Can't move no more. Still make a play here and there. Ain't got a stack last week. Whoop de doo, but can't move no more, man. Like I said, he's just a good utility player. Elite, it should be Elite guys to Patrick Queen and a dash of Christian Welch here and there. And then, like I said, activate Josh Ross, and then just let Bynes be a player coach or something like that. But that's why they should have just went and gave Bobby. I know they made him an offer more than what the Rams did, but that's the hometown, and they won a Super Bowl. So you should have gave him an extra $2 million, $3 million, whatever it would have been, and to be with them in that middle with Quinn and Harrison. Man, game over, man. And AJ Klein, I like him, but he's been a career backup for majority of his career. He just now got started like a couple years ago when he went to the Warriors. They should have brought in Anthony Hitchens. That's another downhill linebacker. Won a Super Bowl with the Chiefs, maybe the Cowboys for a while. Or they should have picked up, like I said, High Tower, Jamie Collins, or what's my guy, Ruben Foster. I know he had the little domestic thing, but I think that's behind him now. But he is fast and violent. Everybody remember him now. So we gave guys second chance before. Remember Dante Stallworth? He ran off some other car. We still gave him a second chance. But
Yep.
we got to line up the linebacker for. Chris says, I've been doing Malik Harris film cut up this week. Looks like he's regaining his form. Yeah, Jason. Yeah, I told you. Remember, he got shot with a straight bullet in his calf, so that kind of slowed him down. And when he got back, I guess they didn't all the way feel like he was ready, so they just waited him there. But yeah, man, like he was real big for us as a rookie in rookie year, man. Like he was bigger stopping Derrick Henry. Remember, Derrick Henry ran for almost 300 yards last year. We draft him. And he was meeting him in the hole when that playoff game. He had 45 yards, man. A big part of it was because of him.
Who that? Jason? Is that Jason?
Yeah, that's good.
Yo, Jason, we still got to talk, man. But yeah, definitely do a video study on my boy Malik Harrison, man. Definitely show that out there. That's my boy right there.
Uh, he said, yeah, you're right. Pouring Alexander ball on the jet. Yeah, that's another guy that was available, right? I'm like, you gotta get guys, man. Like I said, AJ Klein is an okay signing, but it was much better. It was way better option. It was just like that. You can go ahead and answer this AW like that.
How do first I want to say is I know John Ross got put on IR, but they said it was a foot injury. I'm not sure what was the significance of the foot injury because the reason he got put on IR. But I mean, yeah, that's another guy. Quan, who the Ravens, man. I don't know what's going on. We not. It's just like I said, EDC is messing up on picks, on trying to get trades. Robbie Anderson today, a fifth round pick. That's nothing. We could have got this guy, but um, I'm not sure what's going on. I believe this organization is like Rome right now, and it's crumbling from the inside. This ancient Rome fell, and we know where it fell from, and it seems like it's crumbling from the inside. But hopefully we can get some things up to speed. But I think Josh Ross, like I said, I don't know when he's going to come back. I don't even know the significance of the injury. Did he break it? Did he tear something? Did he?
I think I don't know what's going on with him injury wise. They didn't really put it in the report.
Okay, yeah, but like I said, that's another guy EDC missed on. We could it's just so much. There's so many players we can name, bro. Like, but a lot of players are balling, and we just look like we just study falling.
Yeah, but like I said, he got to do a better job putting talent on his team. Like it's been okay, but it could be better. like Ozzy, man, Ozzy didn't stop. Ozzy stopped missing on picks and years later when it was almost time for him to go. His first couple years, Hall of Famers, Pro Bowlers, All Pros. So like the Costa got where he needs to go. He made a couple little trades, like I said, Martin Peter trade, Lance Campbell. He made some few attempts, but he gotta do a better job. Like his whole 2019 draft class is gone except for two players.
Yep.
So he gotta take more of the short things and these projects and all that. Like he got to stay with it. David said, I should y'all last one, then we want to wrap it up. I think he's coming back. Not sure. Who you think coming back? Who you think who's coming? Josh Ross, talking about Harbaugh. Like, who you talking about?
I believe you talk about Josh Ross if he's coming back this year because that's who I had touched on real quick. But I believe that's who he's talking about. Thinking he coming back. I mean, I would hope so, but they never disclosed the significance of his injury to his foot. Just like with Ben Cleveland, they say his foot been hurt the last 2 games, and I'm like, how? What has he done?
Yeah, yeah. I would love to. I kind of figure he's talking about Josh Ross. But yeah, I would love that because he know this game. On the line, but we definitely gotta next year. We gotta like the whole getting Josh lines back. That thing gotta end. Go ahead and rock the young boys, just coach them up. But yeah, man. Thank you everybody for tuning in, man. It was another great episode. I want to thank Raven again. He had to hit out because he had to go start his other show. He came and blessed us with his presence, man. It's one of the goats of the YouTube world, man. So man, it was good to have him on. It's like, so go ahead, AJ, do your thing.
Yeah, I want my apologize, y'all for being a little late. I'm getting some things done right now on a new career path, but definitely still with y'all. I don't want y'all to get it twisted. Me and JP gonna hold this thing down, and I want to thank him and Ingraven for being patient. Shout out to Ingraven YouTube team, keep it clean. If you haven't, please already go check him out and like and subscribe to his page as well. Good guy, great guy, real positive, and he always has the insides of what's going on in the Ravens, and he posts like crazy. I want to shout out to everybody who tuned in to us as well. If you haven't, please already go like and subscribe. Shout out to my boy Jeff Ford, Brian Murray, Chris Wright, Rick Barker, and all of them for checking us out on a weekly basis. I want to shout out to all y'all for the support. We got to get this thing together. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it can come, and we do it. But I feel like until some changes happen, we might be in the same boat, but we're gonna see. We need this one against Cleveland this week because it is a division game, and like I said, if you win a division, you automatically in. So we just gonna keep that on a positive note, and we just gonna see how things prevail.
Yeah, man, I totally agree, man. Like I said 3-3, all is not lost. We should be 6-0, 5-1, or whatever, but we're not. So like I said, Tuesday and Wednesday we got another popular Ravens YouTube on Kevin Ostrack from Locked On Ravens podcast. Y'all go check him out. He does it every morning from about like 6 a.m. to 6:30. So he's gonna be on here Wednesday to break down the Browns game, man. I'm making some moves. Trying to get up, trying to get as many you know guests as possible. So and it don't have to be somebody that we know. If it's anybody wants to be on, and come on here and talk Ravens, or if you're a fan of the team we playing that week, you want to come on, just, shoot me and AJ DM me. Well, I have Twitter, I have Facebook, IG. I know he has Facebook and IG, so just DM us on any of those platforms. So everyone, that's it for episode 8. Like I say, check the audio version out on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. I'm also on Twitch. You can follow me there. Follow the business page, Talking Ravens all day, every day on Facebook. And the group page on that same thing, and I have the IG for the same thing. Just have an underscore at the end. And like I said, man, follow the Twitter as well. Talking Ravens all day, every day. Official Twitter page, and the Twitter handle is JP Ravens. So thank you everybody once again for tuning in, man. We're gonna see you guys Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And always make sure you guys trade Talking Ravens all day, every day. And your host Justin P. and my co-host AJ Henson, and our special guest is Raven Fed. Love you guys and see you guys Wednesday. Yeah.
Yep.